Sonic, or Alan, for carrying out the really difficult task of telling people where to sit for the service. During the service today, I couldn't help thinking how funny it is how history repeats itself. I mean, it was 27 years ago that Stephen and Patricia were sending their daughter to bed with a dummy, and it's happening all over again today.
Danny was born on the 14th of December 1978, which was a Thursday. On the charts was Barbara Streisand and Neil Diamond, You Don't Bring Me Flowers. The only other event we found of any importance on this day was the introduction of free family planning. Though I understand that the midwives at North Manchester General Hospital still refer to Thursday the 14th of December 1978 as Ugly Thursday. Having known Danny for so long, it has become apparent over the years that he has several hobbies, which include sleeping, eating, and that's about it, really. From the aforementioned hobbies, a few stories sprung to mind. Danny arrived at Tintersfield Primary School in 1986 and soon became the school football team's goalkeeper, winning the Salem Partington Cup in 1989, as then the school's most successful team ever. He also accomplished this with a spectacular head of hair. Little were we to know that this would be short-lived. At the same time, he had success playing in goal for Sale United. When I say success, I mean he played for Sale United. Sporting achievements? Well, you can see him here accepting his award for outstanding achievements despite massive hair. The incumbent whiskey drinker of the year. That's Alex Ferguson, by the way. As well as football, Danny is an accomplished hockey player, playing for Brooklands Hockey Club. This played an important role in burning off the regular trips to McDonald's, where his eating style became known as the production line method, inspired by Henry J. Ford. Danny's nickname at Brooklands was the Fat Controller, presumably due to his love of food and not Thomas the Tank Engine.
Talking of food, one day, when Danny was 10, he suddenly developed chronic abdominal pain. His mum, Janet, worried to death about a poor little soldier, took him to Windsor Hospital at emergency, where he was admitted with suspected appendicitis. He was put on the emergency theatre list to have his appendix removed the following day. However, with a threat of nil by mouth for the following 12 hours, Danny confessed that he used a whole bag of tangerines in the space of an hour. It was therefore concluded that he just had stomachache from all the fruit he'd scoffed and didn't actually have appendicitis. In 1990, we left the safe confines of primary school, and despite his relatively low IQ, Danny somehow managed to scrape through the entrance exam paper, presumably excelling in the Lego Man hairstyle section of the paper. In the second year, Sale Boys Grammar School and Sale Girls Grammar School merged to form Sale Grammar School, and Danny was introduced to girls. It's considered inappropriate to speak of previous girlfriends on an occasion such as this, so it's lucky that he preferred spending his free time hiding away in his bedroom playing with his wobble.
The late teens are where the antics really started in the development of the fine man you see before you. In the late 1990s, we discovered house music and regularly made the 35-mile jaunt to Super Club Cream in Liverpool. We started the night in typical fashion, sipping aperitifs on the train, brimful of excitement at the banging tunes we were going to hear. We were having a top time in the club, with some of the country's premier DJs tearing bass lines through the speakers, when it occurred to us that Danny was not with the rest of the party. Having scoured the club, we saw a reveller being inspected by one of the paramedics. The now fading hairstyle alerted us to the fact it was Danny. What had happened to him? Was he too drunk? Had someone spiked his drink? Unbelievably, he was sound asleep. showing his appreciation for the tunes in a somewhat unique way. This is something that clearly started in his childhood.
Following a boozy night out, when he clearly had too much to drink, Danny was laying in bed, eyes closed, with the room spinning faster than the speed of light. He was feeling seriously sick. Unfortunately, when the urge to vomit came, Danny couldn't make it to the bathroom. Instead, he did it all over his bedroom floor. Now, any normal, clean and tidy teenager would make an effort to clean up the offensive pile of sick and then go back to bed. However, Danny instead lifted up the carpet towels in which he just vomited, threw them out of his bedroom window, and then left his mum Janet to clean them up the following morning. And even into his adult years, Danny's IQ hasn't improved. When Gary, Danny's brother-in-law, decided he was going to pop the question, he thought it would be best to do this the right thing and ask Dennis's permission first. He decided that this would be best done in person and drove all the way from Liverpool to Manchester to speak to Dennis. When Gary arrived at the point of residence, he was greeted by the ever-thoughtful Danny, who advised him that Dennis wasn't in. And rather than just inviting Gary in to wait, he simply shut the door in his face. And left Gary to drive all the way back home to Liverpool. To top it off, Danny then told Margaret that Gary had been around to speak to their dad, which he thought was extremely odd, kind of giving the game away.
Throughout Danny's entire life, one of his most noticeable traits has been his love for Manchester City Football Club, the current champions of England. This passion is a metaphor for the journey he's made leading up to this special day. Always threatening to show promise, but ultimately letting himself down that we believed in him. Up until the day when something magical happened and he found himself top of the tree. Alas, it was not a billionaire oil tycoon that came to his rescue, but a fair maiden from Ireland. As many of you will know, Danny and Darren met while working together for Shoe, which is a shoe shop. Their eyes met across a busy shop floor, between the stilettos and the slingbacks. I've never understood Danny's dress sense. And they instantly knew that they would be soulmates. Their mutual love of shoes would form the platform for a beautiful relationship.
Yes.
They grew to be very fond of each other, and not even Danny's age could drive a wedge between them. If only they knew that such a wonderful adventure was afoot. Eventually, on a night out, Danny got Darren so drunk that they kissed. Whether tongues were involved, I can't comment. Danny was Darren's manager at Shoe, and the reason she is still here today is the threat of a final written warning.
In our notes, we've called the next section of the speech Stag Do, Oblique, Cross-Dressing. We couldn't decide which was more pertinent. Luckily for Danny, getting married meant to have the stag do which took place in Lithuania. Even more luckily for him, he was able to indulge in his two favourite hobbies, binge drinking and cross-dressing. As I'm sure you'll all agree, Danny made a very fetching housewife, and after many shots of Stroh 80 and absinthe, we all saw Danny in a new light, questioning our previous lifestyle choices.
Joking aside, Danny, you have been a really good friend over the years. It has been a complete honour for us to have been your best men, and a great pleasure to have grown up with you and been your best friends over the past 25 years. Although you have moved away, we always know that we could rely on you for anything. You deserve to find someone special, and you couldn't have met someone more perfect for you than Darren. Before leaving, we thought it would be a good idea to give Danny some words of wisdom. Obviously, we are not wise enough to give him any of our wisdom, so here are a couple of quotes. Marriage is a wonderful invention. Then again, so is a bicycle repair kit. That's Billy Connolly. A man in love is incomplete until he is married. Then he's finished. Jar Jar Gabor.
Now, as a man who'll drink to absolutely anything, it gives me immense pleasure to invite you all to be upstanding, raise your glasses, and join me in a toast to the happy couple. And we're not finished yet. I know you've been extremely happy together. I want to speak to everyone here in the room to say we wish you both the very best for your future life together. Ladies and gentlemen, the new Mr. and Mrs. Poyner,
Hey.
Danny and Darren.
Before we go, there were just a couple of cards to read out. To Daniel and Dee, congratulations. All our love and best wishes for the future. Lots of love, Caroline and Matt.
Danny and Darren, congratulations to all the lads at Brooklands Hockey Club. Over the years, we found Danny useless to be in every position. We hope you have more luck tonight, Darren.
Wishing you all the best on your special day. I'm so sorry I couldn't be there to share it with you. I've never quite recovered financially from when you no longer required my services, although I go through a lot less scissors and clippers these days. Dave from the Station Barbers.
Okay, that's it.